Gut health used to be something I barely thought about. It wasn't like my doctor growing up ever told me to eat sauerkraut or drink kefir. But once I started digging into it, I realized that the gut is absolutely central to how the rest of the body feels. It's not just about digestion, it's about immunity, energy, mood, even inflammation. And as someone who constantly worries about what's going on inside my body, this was a huge eye-opener. The more balanced my gut became, the fewer scary random symptoms I seemed to experience. And even when I did notice something unusual, I was calmer about it, because I felt like I had a stronger foundation of health. So let's talk about fermented foods. These are foods that have gone through a natural process where bacteria or yeast break down sugars and starches, creating beneficial compounds and, most importantly, probiotics. You've probably heard the word probiotics before. These are the friendly bacteria that help maintain a healthy gut microbiome. And here's the thing, our gut bacteria influence so much more than digestion. They interact with our immune system, they produce vitamins, they affect the way we metabolize food, and even send signals to the brain through what's called the gut-brain axis. For me, the moment I realized that eating something like yogurt could potentially reduce my anxiety levels, not just my health anxiety, but anxiety in general, I was sold. One of the first fermented foods I added to my diet was plain Greek yogurt with live cultures. Not the sugary fruit on the bottom kind, but the kind that's thick, tangy, and loaded with probiotics. At first, I wasn't sure it would make any difference. But after a couple of weeks of eating it regularly, I noticed my digestion was smoother, my bloating was less frequent, and I wasn't getting that heavy, sluggish feeling after meals. For someone like me, who tends to overanalyze every bodily sensation, that was a game changer. Instead of freaking out about stomach discomfort, I was experiencing less of it in the first place. Next, I tried sauerkraut. Honestly, I wasn't a fan at first. It's sour, salty, and definitely an acquired taste. But I reminded myself that this wasn't just about flavor. It was about giving my gut a daily dose of beneficial bacteria. So I started small, just a forkful with lunch. Over time, I grew to like it, and it became part of my routine. What's interesting is that sauerkraut is also rich in vitamins like C and K, plus fiber, which means it's feeding my good gut bacteria while also strengthening my immune system. That dual benefit really appealed to me, because as someone with health anxiety, I want every bite of food to feel like an investment in my future well-being. Then there's kefir. If you've never had it, it's like a drinkable yogurt, but it contains an even wider variety of probiotic strains. Some studies suggest kefir can contain up to 30 different beneficial microorganisms. That diversity is huge, because the more types of bacteria in your gut, the more resilient and balanced your microbiome tends to be. When I drink kefir regularly, I feel a noticeable difference in my energy levels. It's like my body is just running more efficiently. And when I feel physically well, I'm not as quick to spiral into anxious thoughts about being sick. Fermented foods go beyond dairy and cabbage too. Things like kimchi, miso, tempeh, and even kombucha can all play a role. Each one offers slightly different strains of probiotics and unique health benefits. I'll admit kombucha was a tough one for me at first because of the taste, but over time I learned to enjoy it in small amounts. And the idea that I could sip a fizzy drink and be doing something positive for my gut health was really encouraging. What I've learned is that when I feed my gut the right foods, I'm actually calming my mind as much as my body. There's this feedback loop. A balanced gut leads to fewer digestive issues, which means fewer triggers for my anxiety, and the calmer I feel mentally, the less stress I put on my gut. It becomes a positive cycle instead of a vicious one. I also found that fermented foods make me feel empowered. Health anxiety often makes us feel powerless, like our bodies are ticking time bombs we can't control. But choosing to eat foods that nurture my gut bacteria is something tangible I can do every day. It's simple, affordable, and doesn't require a prescription. That shift, from feeling powerless to feeling proactive, has been one of the biggest benefits. If you're thinking about trying this yourself, I'd suggest starting with just one fermented food and working it into your daily routine. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying everything at once. Pick yogurt or sauerkraut or kefir and give it a couple of weeks. See how your digestion feels, how your energy changes, even how your mood responds. For me, the changes were subtle at first, but they added up over time. And as those little improvements stacked up, my health anxiety had less fuel to feed on. Just like our bodies need different vitamins and minerals, our guts benefit from different strains of probiotics. So once you've gotten comfortable with one fermented food, consider adding another. Rotate them, mix them in, make it part of your lifestyle. You don't have to go overboard, but giving your microbiome a wide range of beneficial bacteria can make it more resilient, which in turn helps you feel stronger and healthier overall. And here's something I didn't expect. Paying attention to my gut health actually made me more mindful in general. Instead of obsessing over symptoms, I've started paying more attention to how food makes me feel, and that shift in focus has been incredibly calming. When I eat fermented foods, I'm not just feeding my body, I'm sending myself a message that I care about my long-term health. That message matters. It helps rewire my thinking so that I'm not constantly scanning for danger, but instead celebrating the small steps I'm taking to stay well. So if you struggle with health anxiety like I do, I encourage you to explore fermented foods. Not as a quick fix, not as a way to eliminate all your fears, but as a daily practice of self-care that strengthens your body and soothes your mind. For me, it's become one of the most effective tools in my journey toward less anxiety and better health. And the best part is, it's something I can stick with for life. Because at the end of the day, I may never fully get rid of health anxiety, but I can build habits that make it quieter, less intrusive, and less overwhelming. And for me, fermented foods have been one of those habits. Every spoonful of yogurt, every bite of sauerkraut, every glass of kefir, it all adds up to a body and mind that feel more balanced. And when my body feels balanced, I can finally breathe a little easier.